One life with the fellas.
One life with the fellas.
Ooh, one life with the fellas is about to come on, y'all.
Maybe it's me, maybe it's that, no. Maybe it did, maybe it white, maybe it black, no. Maybe it mid, I'm from the mud, I'm from the mud. I got it all from the grid, taking the rig, taking the rig, taking the rig. Maybe it's me, maybe it that, no. Maybe it did, maybe it white, maybe it black, no. Maybe it mid, I'm from the mud, I'm from the mud. I got it all from the grid, taking the rig, taking the rig, taking the rig.
One night with the fellas.
Yo, what's good, fellas?
What up? What's happening?
Hold on, Timo. I think I'm used to you being like at the bottom somewhere. I ain't used to you being up to the top.
Dang.
My bad.
I don't know how to take that, bro. What you trying to say here, man? What's going on with that? Did we just talk about Nico's son about this height thing? You trying to slide it in already, man?
My bad.
Y'all be trying to give me little man syndrome. It knows I said give it to me. Hey man, but yo, we back, man. Episode 5. We here again, April 4th. As y'all saw the post earlier today, man. We not gonna try to hold y'all long because we know that NCAA championship game is tonight, and I know we do stay on longer today. Y'all may see me fade away because I'm watching the game. You know what I'm talking about?
Hey, I'm trying to find somewhere to watch it right now.
Got to see my Tar Heels pull that thing through, man. So tonight, man, we wanted to we're going to kind of continue on with our I guess our shows as far as like, you know, talking about education and plans for life after high school and whatnot, because we know we're coming up with that time frame where everybody's getting ready to graduate and start their life after high school. So we wanted to focus on the military aspect because we have 3 gentlemen on here who all have military experience. So this is going to be like me just kind of interviewing them. You know what I mean? So,
Hey,
and,
man.
huh?
I was in the Air Force. I don't have military experience.
All right. Well, you know, we're out with it. We wanted to kind of debunk the stigma, man, of killing the stigma that a lot of us black folks have when it comes to talking about the military, which is, you know, I ain't going over there to get shot. So one of these guys kind of give all the benefits of military experiences, what it offers. And we want y'all too, man, to chime in if you have any questions or comments for your own experiences as well. You know, let us know. You know, engage with us so you know we can make sure that we are educating ourselves as much as we possibly can. So, but before we do that, man, I know we talked about before as far as highlighting a black business, and we do have someone who did submit a video. So, Murray, you want to take that, man, and kind of lead that in, let the people see who spotlight for.
Yeah, Nico, man, before we do that, man, just go ahead and tell people, you know, about this segment and what they need to do to like get the spot, I would say.
Thank you for reminding me. Cole, I know you watching, man. I was supposed to tag you in the post. Sorry, it's to my head, not my heart. So, Black, for the business spotlight of the week, we have.
Tag? I can go back and tag that. I'm sorry.
Glenroy Cole.
Okay, right.
Tag you in the post, and I totally forgot. So we have several posts on here highlighting the business of the week. What we're going to do is just want to highlight a business every time we come on here. All you got to do is literally on the post that America's about to tag Glenn in, just submit your business. Give us your elevator speech. Like if you see me and you want me to frequent your business, what would you tell me in the elevator to get me to go shop with you? That's all you got to do in the post. 2 to 3 minutes. Then once we choose you, whoever we choose, I'll get with you so you can send me a video. 2 to 3 minutes. 3 minutes at the most. 3 minutes is kind of pushing it. Because if you on the elevator for 3 minutes, something's wrong. Submit it, and then we'll get it on the very next show. Pretty simple, right? So just make sure you submit that. Put your business down. Even if you don't have an elevator speech, just put your business down. We can walk through it together to get your business.
We can get that later.
Just put your business down.
Yeah, all right. So for this episode or this week, we'll be highlighting OB Great.
everyone. My name is Micaiah Outlaw, and I wanted to ask you a question. So, has there ever been a time in your life where you felt like you needed motivation or somebody to vent to, but you couldn't really find that person? If you did find that person, were you able to go back to them constantly and confide in them with your most intimate information? I found myself in a little dilemma back in 2020, whenever I was facing my parents' divorce and I was in college. So at the time I was a sophomore in college and I was trying to get through school. I'm a biology major, so I have to focus on my academics, and it was just very difficult to deal with that and deal with the personal life back at home. And I just needed to open up and get it out to someone. Therapy was something that I just really didn't hear about. And if I did, it was counseling. And I heard a lot of people went there for mental illnesses, and it just wasn't the right depiction of getting the help that I needed at the time. And so that's why I was thinking, I really could just talk to another person. I may not need that service. Maybe I could just talk to somebody who's random, somebody that I know I can confide in. But where was I going to get this service? And so that's why I created OB Great. OB Great is this network of active listeners that I brought together who provide motivation, venting, and tutoring services. And so we provide services for women's mental health, where we provide venting sessions for moms facing postpartum, empowerment for young females, and even more. We even have motivation services for men, where we provide advice for single fathers, those who need to open up and be heard. We provide that for men because it's important for them to be able to vent and talk about their feelings. Our largest category is our general motivation, where basically anyone can come and talk to us about college students, parenting advice, military, people who are facing grief and loss, and more. We even have it to where if people want to hear just a single great job or congratulations, we have that available for people because we understand that experience speaks a lot to people who want to hear stuff like that. So lastly, we offer tutoring and classes where people can attend it if they need help in specific subjects like the sciences, Englishes, and standardized testing. So who is OB Great for? So I created OB Great for anyone who felt like they needed support. We aren't therapists or counselors or any mental health expert for that matter, but we understand that the need is to simply be listened to and get motivated, to keep from dealing with insurances sometimes, the availability of healthcare professionals. We may not can book sessions with therapists and counselors. And the most important thing is being able to get quality services. So we have two components of OB Great. Not only do we have our motivational sessions, but we also have a fine line of self-care products. OB Great has a line of quality artesian soaps that are geared towards sensitive skin, but also it was so important for us to make them for specific situations. For example, we have one bar of soap that is known for stress relief. So it's our peppermint minty bar to help to open up our pores. And we also have another bar known for relaxation and restore. Along with these soaps, we have mugs, body butters, and self-care boxes, and more mental health tailored physical products that we plan to incorporate into our online store. So as I began working on this project, I began thinking, what does mental health mean to me? So mental health means taking care of myself so that I can take care of others. Being a part of a supportive group of people like the people in OB Great, it's really worked on my mental health. We don't look at ourselves as a business, but instead we hope to provide people a chance to be listened to as a family member and as a friend. We feel it's so important that every experience had with OB Great, it feels like you're talking to a mom figure, a dad figure, a grandparent figure, a sibling figure. Some people may not have these figures in this life. And so when you come to OB Great, you get this sense of family. And so we believe in helping everyone become the best version of their self, which is also a job for ourselves. As much as we help other people, we also work on ourselves. So through this, it's important to become kinder to others and to do the tiny little bit to help them in their process of working towards self-improvement. So if people are wanting to get involved with OB Great, here's how you can do so. So OB Great has 3 memberships that you can go through to get involved. The first one is a $60 annual per year. The second one is a $7 per month. And the third one is free. The only difference between them is the gift that we send you. The $60 per year, we send a self-care box. The $7 per month, we send you a t-shirt and a pen, and we also include that in the free membership. So thank you so much for listening to OB Great.
All right. So we appreciate Miss Maya for that, man. That was good and thorough. Hopefully y'all was able to catch everything that she was discussing in her video. If not, I'm quite sure we'll probably make a post and tag her in it with her business and whatnot to try to get those services that she do provide to be something that people can take advantage of. So again, we appreciate her for sending that in and kicking off our Black Business Spotlight. And so I guess, man, without further ado, should we dive right in, man? Or y'all got anything current that we kind of trying to touch on for real?
Want to jump in there? I
didn't know. I was just
how many questions you got?
I put it like this. Congratulations to South Carolina Gamecocks last night on winning the championship for the women's NCAA. I know I watched pretty much majority of that game, man. Of course, because I'm a basketball head, love it to death. So I was really glad that Coach was able to get that victory out. You know, they always put Connecticut at the top of the cream of the crop. You know, they had a theme too, like Coach, I forgot how you pronounce it, or Ariyama, whatever his name is.
I can't pronounce his name,
He's undefeated in the championship. Gene. Yeah, Gene. He's undefeated in the championship games. But guess what? She undefeated too in the championship game. Let's keep that same narrative, man. So that was with that, Nico.
Black Girl Magic,
man. I was hoping they weren't going to make them. And I'm glad I ain't seen nothing yet, so I'm hoping they're gonna pass on. But y'all saw, I don't know if y'all saw the interview or even at the post game. South Carolina's best player, I forgot her last name. She was a beast.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, she was giving kudos to Candace Parker, you know, while she was up there on the stage. And Candace Parker had, you know, gave her a little shout out, you know, saying, you know, showing I love you sign. But that pinky over there, though, that thing was. Yeah, something else going on. I was like, oh man, they gonna make that a beam out of that thing. Don't think they were like ET and everything on there, brother. But I get it. She was saying I love you, but it was going some other places as well too. So you know, I was like, golly, don't do it, dog. But I don't know. But it was pretty dope, man, to see that moment. You know, especially last season for them to lose what they did. I think in Final Four and come back, finish the job. You know what I mean? That's really dope. So it's really dope. Hopefully tonight, North Carolina can bring it on home. So that'd be a black male and a black female that'll be running the reins of NCAA basketball for at least 1 year until they go see them again next year. You know what I mean? So all my Tar Heel fans, y'all chime in. I can't get no sound effect for that, David. No, too much.
Nah, too much. Too much to ask for.
Selfish, I tell you.
Hey, if they win though, I
care about that, man. I care about that. I want to feel good.
Hey, he just happy with second place, man. I want to be in second place. Hey, if you ain't first, you're last, man. You know that.
Nobody in there with the Bible. Come on, man.
Excellence, baby.
Oh man, but yeah, man. So I guess we're gonna dive into it now, man. You know, like I said, we want to try to touch on the whole military aspect, and you know, these three guys have over 20 years, you know, with experience with the military, in different facets of it, and I hope,
You got 20 years in the bottom corner by itself.
I know.
You just completed 20. Was it last year?
Yeah, last August 20.
Hey man, drop the thing for that, man. Come on, bro. You gotta give him some of that, man.
Exactly, man.
Yeah, man. 20 years in the game. Come on, man.
Hey man, serious question. Ain't nobody else watching, man. How the hell did you hustle for that long, man? Ain't nobody else watching, man. Tell me.
Easy, man. Light work.
Light work. Hey, so look. Let's go ahead and dive into it, man. Like
QA.
Right, exactly.
So like tonight, man, we trying to kill these stigmas, man, that us black folks have about the military, because it is a viable option at the high school for students who may not think college is for them or don't want to go to college. They just don't have a clue of what to do. So I want to ask all three of y'all, man. What are some stigmas that you heard about the military growing up?
You're gonna die. You're going to die. Everybody think they going somewhere to get shot at. You know what I'm saying? They think all deployments are the same. Everybody going to the desert. Everybody getting shot at. Everybody getting bombed.
Man, I was 20 years old. My dad was still trying not to let me go because he didn't want me to deploy because he thought I was going to get killed.
Yeah.
In deploy.
Yeah,
I'm so serious. Like every time he called me, he'd be like, "Man, I'm glad you made that choice to go, but I really didn't want you to go. I was really scared for you." Like, Pops, I could have died in Opelika.
Right.
Yeah, that's the reality of it, right? You can die anywhere. But it's same for me, man. Growing up, it was always, soon as you join, you gonna go, you gonna get shipped off. But ironically, the same. I mean, that did happen to me, so it kind of happened. It just kind of came true for me. But I did kind of growing up, man. That was kind of the stigmas around it. Like, man, as soon as you sign up, you're gonna be over there fighting somebody war or something.
Man, another big thing that I still hear it now is like, why would you, as a African American or black male, go serve a country that don't serve you, that don't even want you here? I hear that a lot. But,
I was about to say the same thing, bro.
And I tell everybody, like, I wouldn't even attempt to try to encourage people to go to the military, but I don't tell them not to either. But if you ask me, I'm gonna tell them, like, the military is a tool. Use it to get ahead. Use them like they're gonna use you.
They're gonna use you. Use them back.
Yeah.
Use them back. I got somebody asked me that one time. Like, why would you join the military if they don't like black people in America? Why would you join the military? Like, why not? Why are you working for Walmart? Them people from Walmart don't care about you. So what's it different?
They care about that bottom line.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
make us.
Right, they had your job printed up on the bulletin board for your obituaries printed, man. So,
That's true. That's true. We have, before I get to the second question, we got Gwen James. She said her daughter is in the Navy, and nerves only get bad when she's on deployment or if people start talking about a war. And I think that's kind of normal. I would too if my child was in and going to get it deployed.
Auntie, I'm going to tell you, people in the military is volunteering to go on deployments. Bruh, some people really deploy. Like, you gotta looking at the money aspect. They ain't looking at they about to go fight.
There are a lot of people that do for tax reasons. You go over there. If you touch any soil or you outside of the U.S. for a day, that entire month is tax free. So they do it for a money aspect, but it depends on what's going on because. I was in a unit that didn't have a choice, and I didn't get deployed, but they picked so many people to go.
Yeah. I think the few times that I did go, it was not by choice; it was always by force.
Yeah, my first deployment was really by force because I had at this point in my career I had been in there 15 years, and I had no deployments.
Look at you.
So they looked at me and was like, "Hey, everybody been but you."
Your time.
So with that being said, man, like why did each one of y'all join the military? And before y'all answer, I'll say that the stigmas that y'all was talking about, like my mama was one of those that was adamant about. I wish you would go over there to get shot, killed. I'll take care of you myself while you're here. I'm like, God, hey man, like, all right, forget it. I go to Montgomery, go to college.
I'm gonna answer the question last because I think they got better reasons for joining than I do.
I don't know. We're gonna be honest here.
Honest with you.
So what y'all boys join, man?
I want that Dodge Charger. I'm just.
Well, look, this is why I joined the military, right? Maybe y'all been to this place. I'm from Opelika, Alabama. I was trying to leave. That's it. I just wanted to leave Opelika. That's all. I ain't have no other plans.
Good answer.
Need to get away. I wasn't worried about education, none of that. Just trying to leave.
Cross that bridge when we get there.
Oh no, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. All right, so for me, it really was. I started benefit. I was looking at long term. Most people, my stepdad was in the Air Force, and all he ever talked about was, man, I wish I would have retired. I wish I'd have stayed in longer. I wish I'd have did it. So that great opportunity for me. I wasn't ready to go to school. I saw that I can gain a skill. I just saw all kinds of benefits just highlighting this thing. And also I knew they traveled. So I was like, man, I'm gonna go travel the world. I'm gonna go prepare myself for later on in life. If I don't stay 20, I at least have money to go to school. I just saw all the benefits there. I was like, why not?
So leaving Opal like it had nothing to do with it.
Well, I mean a little bit, but because
He said he was getting out anyway. Getting out
anyway. When you sign up, they make you fill out this thing called a dream sheet, right? So your dream sheet is like eight places you want to go. So I picked everything East Coast, West Coast, and I said, send me anywhere overseas. And they stuck me in Oklahoma.
What?
My dream sheet,
East Coast, West Coast, and got stuck in Oklahoma.
My dream sheet was everything on the East Coast. They sent me to Vegas. I'm not complaining. Let's go back now.
So why you join, man? Why you join, Bone? And what your sheet look like where you ended up?
Man, I ain't have a sheet, man. Let me tell you now. I'm gonna be straight up, man. I don't think they telling the truth, so I'm gonna be honest. I joined, it started for me, man. I was in ROTC while I was in high school, so I kind of had a perception of what, almost like what the military looked like. So I was like, this is gonna be easy. This ain't gonna be hard. Having done like boot camps and stuff in the summer, I was like, man, this will be a cakewalk. But man, honestly, man, my recruiter sold me a dream, man. So just talking to a recruiter, man, at the base I did join. So I joined like the Air National Guard, right? So what was told to me, they was like, come up here, you probably be up here 1 weekend out a month, 2 weeks out a year, man. We're gonna pay for you to go to school, we're gonna give you a signing bonus, you ain't never gonna get deployed. That's what I was told. But in all honesty,
yeah, you got sold.
The unit had not been activated for like a deployment at all, right? So I talked to people out there. They was like, "Oh man, we ain't never been deployed. The chances of us getting deployed, man, probably unlikely." So I'm like, "Oh man, I get an easy check. I had my school picked out. They gonna pay for me to go to school. I'm get some extra money while I'm going to school." So I was like, "Shoot, this the come up." You know what I mean? So it just looked like a dream, man. You know what I mean? But sometimes you be like, when people tell you stuff like that, it's it's too good to be true. So later on down the line, like I said, man, I had went to basic training, came back, had started school first semester at college. Get out of there, boy. We finna go. Hey, time to go. Man, I was at college probably 2 to 3 weeks. Hey, pack your bags, son. Time to go serve your country. Like so that's my story. Yeah. Of course, I always tell people, man, through the good and the bad, I would say my good times still outweigh my bad times that I spend in the military. And, so that's kind of how I weigh it, right? Even in life, man, you're going to have good and bad. So out of that situation, I still had good and bad. And I would say my good outweigh the bad that I've experienced.
Man, that boy got sold the ultimate dream.
They sold me, man. I was sold. I was bought in. So be careful. You listening and talking to a recruiter, man, because I'm telling you.
But you touched on Demeric had the nice brochure answer. He saw all the opportunities and so my question is this though, and I'm not disregarding you because I know that's your truth, but I'm just saying but where did you get when you say you saw the advantages and all the things that you saw within what the military offer? How did you get that?
All right, so So for one, my stepdad was in the military, like I said. He spent 4 years in. So I didn't talk to him about it a whole lot, but I know that he was stationed in Germany. So that let me know right off top. I can be stationed in another country, chilling. You know what I'm saying? And I've always heard that once you get in another country, like in Europe, it's always easier to travel. And some of the places that I wanted to go to, like Paris, I want to go to Rome. I want to go to a lot of places in Europe. It was on my bucket list. It's always been on my bucket list. And I was like, man, if I can just get my foot in the door over there and just travel Europe, that'd be great. So I had some people that graduated before me. This dude named Nick Richardson. He had went off, and then I called him, and another guy I used to be on a wrestling with. I called him. So I had all the information before I got it. I've always wanted to be in the military, no doubt. But I also wanted to be a doctor growing up. But the military seemed like the easiest, quickest route to do everything I wanted to do.
What kind of doctor you wanted to be, man?
I want to be a cardiologist, actually.
It ain't too late, man.
You can do it.
maybe a little harder now. It would have been.
See the way he looks.
Well, you talking about all that, man? The studying that you have to do now, bro. I don't got that dedication. I don't got that dedication.
He shut that down, man.
I don't got that dedication.
We say
but I do appreciate you though, man, because like when I did decide to go, and I called you about what job to get, I appreciate you, man, because I got the easiest job on earth.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's the biggest thing, man. It really is all about what job you pick, what branch you go into. I mean, it start out with what branch you go into, and then what job you pick. And a lot of people don't know that you can pick your job before you enter. Don't let them recruiter will sell you anything. They're gonna try to sell you on. They're gonna try to sell you on what they need.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have to. You don't have to go in what they need. If you want to be something, then you tell them, "Hey, well, I'm gonna wait till that come open." And the recruiter need people, so you know what he gonna do? He gonna come back around, and in 1 month he gonna be like, "Hey, I need to meet my quota. You still want that job?" That's just how it works. You gotta wait them. You gotta be willing to wait them out.
So, Mary, you touched on jobs. So, even before you get to pick that job, like, what's the process of actually going to the military? Like, when you graduated high school, and then what did you do from there? Like, how did yours go? Because mine went a little different. I'm blaming T-Mar for that too.
Yo, how did yours go different?
Because it went the same way. It was just I was in Montgomery partying with T-Mar when I was supposed to be in Opelika taking the Asvab.
Well, y'all partying in Montgomery?
First of all, that guy down at the bottom was there as well.
Come out the merit?
No, let's go to the other side.
Talking about Murray.
Yeah.
Me. Okay.
All right, carry on.
Man, I was trying to keep y'all from going in there. What you talking about?
So
how was it,
I was in Montgomery, and I really forgot that I was supposed to be taking the Asvab, and I was partaking in spirits.
He's not lying, because I knew nothing about Asvab or anything that he's supposed to be prepared for. If he did, I'd probably try to be a good friend, at least try to get him to look at it at least once a week before we went out.
And then somebody reminded me, I don't know who reminded me that I was supposed to be taking it that morning, so I politely got back to Opelika. However, I got back there. Not incriminate myself. I did not drive under the influence. But yeah, I went and took the Asvab, man, and scored pretty high.
So we got CJ Sparks, and you kind of tied it into the question that Nico asked you, though, Demir. They asked scoring high enough to get the good job. So can you kind of like tie it in to the process?
Yeah. So all right. So Nico was asking about the process. So first off, before they even really bother with you, they make you take a practice ASVAB. So the ASVAB is the qualification score that you need to get. It's the test that you need to take to qualify to get in the military. So each branch has their own minimum score. And if you don't meet that minimum score, they ain't gonna even talk to you.
If you can spell your name, you get in the Army, though, I heard.
Yeah. So the Air Force minimum score is I think right now it's a 40. So if you make a 40, you qualify for certain jobs. The Army is like a 32, something like that. So, and this is out of 100 points.
Army dropped to like 27, man.
Huh?
The Army's like 27 now. Yeah, because I got a homeboy just went in, and he was trying to get me to help him study for it because he couldn't get. I ain't gonna say what he couldn't get over, but he was struggling for a little while.
But without being honest about the test, it ain't the everyday run of the mill test now. It has like it's not like your ACT or SAT test.
No.
So and that's what I'm talking about. It's not like that type of school-based standardized test. They test you in a lot of categories that you won't normally get tested in.
Glad you brought that up.
You get tested in like mechanics, critical thinking, analysis. Electronics,
math.
like a whole lot of different stuff goes into scoring you. And if you take if you just think about it like that, if you take a kid straight out of school and say, I'm testing you on electronic components and I'm testing you on certain mechanical function and stuff like that, you ain't been really taught that stuff in school. So that's why sometimes we do encourage. I've encouraged people to get a like a study guide or a study book if you want to do good on a test in certain areas.
Right. So actually, my son is thinking about joining the military right now. So which I need to buy him a book for. So I was trying to explain to him and my wife about the Asvab. So like, for an example, they would ask you a question. I remember this question off the test, right? It says, look at this screw. Which direction do you turn to tighten this screw? So it'd be something like that. So if you're not familiar with looking at something like that, then you ain't gonna know. But it tests your mechanical aptitude, your electronic, what you know about electronics. It just go based off of, all right, what can we teach you? Because once they put you in and you go through the whole process, when you go through training, it is a very fast-paced training class.
You see what George just put?
Scored 78.
78 on his practice, which is really good.
Yeah,
for people that want to know.
Really good.
All right.
Do y'all remember y'all Asvab scores?
I don't.
I was just about to ask that too.
I have no idea.
I think mine was. I think I scored a 77, and I only took it once. And
I only took it once too, but I cannot remember what I had on there.
I think I made a 77, which allowed me to do the job that I made for electronics. I made the bare minimum score it was for my job. I think I needed a 75 or something like that on the electronic section. So that's another thing about the Asvab too. It's not just about your cumulative score. If you want a job in electronics or a job in a certain field, then you have to score a certain Asvab score in that
category.
Yeah, in that category. So like if you want to be something like my job, I am a avionics technician. So I work on anything communication, anything navigation equipment. I work on all that. And merge do the same thing, but on a different aircraft. So, but to do that job, you have to make that minimum score. You don't make that minimum score, you can't be in it. But because I made that bare minimum score, my recruiter tried to talk me out of it. He was like, "No, I don't think you're going to do that. It's going to be hard, barely tested well. You should do something else." Hey, man, I'm doing it just because you said I can't do it.
Yeah, I scored a 97 on mine, and then I called the Merrick, of course, and he was like, where they put the paper out in front of me, which he said they was gonna do. He was like, they're pretty much gonna let you pick your job. And then he told me, you like math. I don't know why he got that. Where you get that from anyway? I like math.
Well, I know.
But I chose to be a female troop, precision measurement equipment laboratory. So it's pretty much I do math and work on tools all day, calibrate stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna go down. So right now they say they got like eight categories. So we got general science, arithmetic, reasoning, word knowledge, paragraph comprehension, mathematic knowledge, electronic information, auto and shop information, and then mechanical comprehension.
So those are the categories that the Asvab you're testing for, right?
Yeah. Like,
Okay.
that's the structure of the Asvab currently.
Okay.
So like the mayor said, you got to score a certain number or have a certain kind of like level in each category to qualify for a particular job.
Right. So if you don't score high enough in mechanical, you ain't getting no mechanical job. Just don't expect it. You know, you might be I might have to do a desk job or something. Which
that ain't all bad, man.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
So when y'all say a desk job, is that just specifically for the branch that all of y'all in the Air Force, or that's for like across the board?
Across the board,
Across the board.
So across the board, you'll find that, you know, there are administrative positions in all branches of service, right? So you think all branches gonna need somebody for payroll, right? All branches gonna need somebody to do like the behind the scenes stuff to keep everything going. And so anything you can think about that a normal like business or place of work would have, as far as like administrative, every branch of service have that. You know what I mean? So there are positions out there that in the military that you can find that, I mean, people do now in their normal day-to-day life.
Yeah, like
now
everything
people
in the civilian world,
may get in those positions and stay forever till they die. But you know,
everything have the civilian world. You're gonna need that on military installation too. Yeah. So
I they break it down. They do break it down, some stuff down a little bit more. Yeah. I worked with a guy, man. He used to work in the finance department, and all he did was pay bills all day. All he did was send money to companies to pay bills. That's all he did all day.
Hey, speaking of finance, man, you know what I don't like about finance? Why would I owe them some money? They take it all right then. But they owe me some money. I gotta wait 2-3 weeks to get my money back.
Yeah,
that's just how it works.
That's crazy.
Person with the bank account got the power.
It's okay, Nico. Nico slammed in his house with everything. It's all right, brother.
Good, man.
It's all right.
So
appreciate the comment, Mr. Thomas. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
And I always been smart enough to do what I want.
So
that's just his folks, y'all. Don't believe that. Go ahead.
The smart guy.
Right.
Talk more about the process of after taking the Asvab, what happened and what to look forward to as far as basic.
All right, so back to the process, right? So the process is, all right, talk to the recruiter. Recruiter set you up for Asvab, take the Asvab, right? You score well enough, then they take you what they call MEPS. You know, MEPS, everybody do MEPS. Everybody go through MEPS. MEPS is the process in which you get medically examined. They're checking your scores. They're verifying everything to make sure that you qualify for your job. At MEPS, you pick your job. Well, some people do. Not everybody pick
Don't go job. Open general.
Yeah. Don't. Yeah. The recruiter would talk you into doing open general and you end up a cop. You don't want to do that. So,
nothing's wrong with cops.
Hey, I know some cops. Nothing wrong with cops. But
well, I'll get back to that.
It is one of the highest deployed career fields in the military, though.
Say that again.
It's one of the highest deployed career fields in the military.
Oh, yeah. That ain't why I say it, though.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I go ahead. So
keep going.
So you go to MEPS, and then you get your mental breakdown or whatever. They check you out, and then from there, it's a waiting game. You just sit and wait till you go to your training. You know, till you go to basic.
Hurry up and wait.
Yeah, it's hurry up and wait all day, every day. So you go to basic. You finish basic. Hopefully you don't get washed back a week. It's 8 weeks for the Air Force. I think it's 8 weeks for the Army. I don't know I think it's like 14 for the Marines, something like that. But they all have their extended time. And then you go from that into what we call tech school. Air Force call it tech school. I think the Marines and the Army call it AIT. But
Navy calls it A school.
Who?
Navy calls it A school, right?
I don't know what the Navy call it, but that's where you learn your job. You learn your specific job, and then from there, that's where you get assigned. Well, if you go active duty, you get assigned your base. Then you go out from there.
Okay, so can we bring clarity to all of those things as far as ways to join? That's what active, guard,
Reserve.
Reserve.
And I think Barney mentioned he was in high school, ROTC or something like that. So
Yeah.
break down the differences of those things so people can understand what all that means.
So it is another option too that a lot of people kind of don't spread in our community is the commission, or what we call like commission based option. So there are options where you can enter the military and not be like. So in the military you have enlisted and you have officers, right? So there's a way for you to go in the military and become like a commissioned officer, right? So a few ways to do that is you can go, you can get rid of recruiters, sign up and go to school, right? So you can do like college ROTC is a commission based program. There are also options where if you are enlisted, so you can come in enlisted and then later go to officer training school. You can take that route as well. Am I missing anything to merit for commission based? I know it's Air Force you got college ROTC and you have officer training school after that if you don't do the college route.
Right, that's it. Well, unless if you're in the reserves, they do have a program called Deserving Airmen. All bases have it where you could qualify later to go in. They pick somebody out of the entire wing to go. So another way. Yeah.
So that's break down all of them.
Yeah.
Active guard, and reserves. Yeah. That's all of them.
Yeah, it's about those three. Is it? Yeah. And not every branch.
So
I think every branch have them, right? Every branch have those three. Do all branches have those three components, or just
no? The Marines, well, the Army and the Air Force are only people that have a guard.
Okay, so everybody else are reserves.
Yeah, everybody have active and reserve. And then of course you got your branches, which is Army, Air Force, Marines, Navy, Coast Guard.
Man, you can't do the Space Force out
now the Space Force, yeah. Now the
Space Force. Yeah, Space Force.
I tried to join, man. They told me no.
What's Space Force?
Excellent question.
So, hold on. A warrant officer is in the Army, and you have to, for one, you have to be in the Army. But I think the way to get there is different than. I don't think you can go in straight warrant officer. I think you got to be enlisted to do that. If I'm not mistaken, you can't just go in straight to be a warrant officer.
I'm not sure. Hopefully, somebody clear it up for us, or maybe come in and see.
If y'all know, somebody come in on it. But
the program I just asked about.
I'm pretty sure there's a warrant officer on the feed somewhere.
Oh, okay.
There are not warrant officers in all branches. We do not have warrant officers in the Air Force. There are 0 warrant officers in the Air Force. We don't do that. We only have enlisted and officers.
Okay. So y'all touched on earlier, man, about deployment, and it. I guess listen to the reasons why y'all say why people are discouraging you from joining the military, or the stigmas. It's like the biggest stigma in the Black community is deployment. So, because y'all just gave like all the other alternatives in regards to how all the things that the military offers, and the process of going about joining, talking about the jobs, the importance of the Asvab. But how does deployment look for you guys in the military? So is it different for each branch, or is it depending on what's needed? Like, how does it go about it?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you don't want me to say, because I didn't have any good deployment experiences. So
yes, we do. That's what we want, man.
Well, I'll say the worst. So we'll say the worst for last, rather.
All right.
So anytime I deploy, it was in war instances, right? So why my conditions were not favorable.
All right, but you gotta say. Let's go back and say what your job is, though. Let's start with your job.
It doesn't matter, because even people who work in those administrative positions were right beside me when we talking about wartime environment. Now you had to be clear. Right. So, I'm talking about bare base, unknown, nobody really knows where you at type places.
But what aircraft did you work on, Mary?
I worked on the F-16, and that's probably why I deployed as well. So
Right.
I worked on a
Pause.
fighter aircraft.
Hold on, pause. Now I'm finna do I'm finna do the show how y'all do me all the time, dropping off these acronyms. Where aircraft did you fly? Oh, it's the F-16, and we take off and keep talking. And I'm saying like crickets. Like, okay, what's that? You know what I'm saying? So for us that are not privy to the things y'all talking about, let them know what aircraft that you was working on, and then connect those dots and go on from there with it to your point, if you don't mind, sir.
16 is a fighter jet.
Yeah, so the F-16 is a military fighter aircraft. So it's the F-16 Fighter Falcon. So it's really like kind of like what you would call a wartime jet that has multiple functions. So those are the planes that you typically see a lot of during wartime. Well, back then they have other ones now that they use a little more frequently now. So, but at that time, that was the premier jet for the military.
Yeah. What's the name of that movie? Top Gun is a good example of what that would look like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Movie Top Gun.
Didn't they have A-10s in Top Gun too?
The Warhawk, I'm not sure.
No, I don't think so.
Now, if they did, they didn't. I mean, Tom Cruise didn't fly that. He flew the F-16. What you see when you go to the air shows, those are typically F-16s as well. What's the blue? What they call? Demerit?
Blue Angels and
Blue Angels. Yeah, Blue Angels. Yeah. That's what they fly as well.
Yeah, F-16.
Hey man, how you gonna say the Blue Angels when we Air Force, man? You just not gonna get no love to the Thunderbirds?
Yeah, Thunderbirds are 16s too. They are. Those are those are aircraft that they use just for show. They those are the ones you usually see at air shows when they want to show off what the military can do, like the capabilities, how they can fly. You see those typically.
Thank you, sir. Hey, Joy, feel my pain. Appreciate you, Joy. I know we be seeing just like, I know for real. Word.
She being hit with all kind of acronyms. She just
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Hey, T, read some of the comments. There's some great information in some of these comments.
Yeah, I was going to go to that, man. The other one says, I think we was asking about the warrant officer a second ago. And who is this? That's Monique. Said you can go warrant officer straight from high school as a flight warrant. And then she also said that deployments are mostly based on your duty station. There are rapid deployment stations such as Fort Hood, Fort Bragg, and Fort Stewart, job relevant. And also, too, she went back about with the flight warrant. And that is also, I guess, also known as an aviator. So, Monique, if you don't mind, sounds like you got some military experience. Drop in there, man. Which military experience is, if you don't mind? The people would like to know.
So the reason why I asked Murray, job, they are right. Job is irrelevant, but the reason why I asked Murray to share his job because he worked on fighter aircraft. All right, they are most likely in a war zone for one, because of their function. Two, a lot of aircraft like that in the Air Force anyway, the ACC command, which is a branch off the Air Force, right? So they are the most deployed. They deploy the most, and they are. That's what they do. They
what
fight.
What does ACC mean, Demerit?
Air Combat Command. So Air Combat Command. That's all they do is fight. So you're gonna deploy so the airframe that I used to work on when I was active duty in Oklahoma was under ACC command. When I got to that base, they told me, hey, you're going to be deployed or you're going to be traveling 250 days out of the year. I didn't make 250. I made about 100, but that's what they do. They travel, they fight, they go different places.
Okay. I want to make sure, and I want to go back real quick because this is a question I get a lot, even when I talk to students about military and I want to make sure that the people understand the difference between when you say you are active duty, What is that? And then like when you are reserve, what is that
What does
like?
it
What
look
does it
like?
look like? You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Go ahead.
Active duty for me looked like a regular 7 to 4, 5 days a week, off on weekends. I was just stationed at another place other than my home, but that place became my home. But my job was, I was a lab tech, so I didn't have a need to be there more.
Okay.
Like someone would be on the flight line or something. I only
Okay.
needed to be there if something was broken. So it was 7 to 4:30, 7 to 4 with an hour lunch. Go home. Yeah, it was like
Yeah, that's
regular.
based on that job that you had, right?
Yeah,
Is based on that score that you had for based on your Asvab score and the job that you chose to do.
yes.
So, with all that being said, what if you chose to do reserve? And what did that look like?
I wouldn't know that. Demeric could probably answer. I'm not sure.
I don't know. So depending on how the reserve works, so there's only so many jobs at a particular base, right? So
right.
like for Maxwell, we don't have any female personnel. It's all contracted out. So there's no need. So at my location in Georgia, there are no female people that I know of.
But it may be something, like he said, it may be some
but
bases out there that would have his career field under the reservist side. So I think, Demary, what you can speak more to is like what life looked like as a full-time reservist personnel, like if you was reservist only, and then I'll speak towards like Air National Guard from a guard perspective.
Okay, yeah, cause that's where I want to go with. Thank you, Bonnie.
You want to speak on what life is like?
Like what would life be like for someone who enlisted in the reserve, Air Force Reserves only?
Okay.
Like what would they look like on the day-to-day, weekend, year type thing?
All right. So, they give you the spiel of 2 weekends a month, 2 weekends out of 1 weekend out of the month, 15 days a year. So every base is kind of different depending on what their head guy says, the commander says, but we don't do mandatory AT. We don't do mandatory annual tour, which is the 15 days. That's what they call it, the 15 days annual tour. So it's not mandatory for us to come at a certain time, but you have to do the 15 days at some point throughout the fiscal year. So we come in on the weekends. Most of our weekends is taken up by CBTs or training on a specific, you're trying to get signed off on a specific task to learn your job. So that's mostly what we do. You have medical appointments. Other than that, I mean, for the most part, it's pretty laid back depending on the unit. The reserves is a little more laid back than active duty to me.
Yeah. So
you
one of the major.
I'm sorry. I'll go ask another question, Barney.
Go ahead.
So you have a regular 9-to-5 job and be in the reserve is what you're saying?
Oh, yes. So yes. So the reserves is only weekends and it's pretty much only weekends. So, they expect you to have a life outside of the military, pretty much.
Okay.
I know one thing that kind of differentiates like the Air National Guard and the reservists is the reservist unit is typically tied to an active duty Air Force base, where sort of like some of the guard units or they kind of have like their own base, right? So we still do sort of like the reservists as well. We still do the 1 weekend out of a month, the 1 weekend, or the 1 week or 2 weeks out of a year. Even just like, like the mayor said, now there are opportunities for, like Nico mentioned, like maybe like full-time positions in the Air National Guard. So you can be considered active duty, but be a part of the Air National Guard. You can also be full-time a GS employee also, which is like a state employee, and be a part of the Air National Guard. So they have full-time positions available for you and still be a part of that. I would say that Air National Guard unit as well. Yes, you can still hold a regular 9-to-5 job, meaning you could go to work at the plant and still go to drill on the weekends if they let you off for that, or you still could go to school and just do your weekends and 2 weeks out of the year. There are laws and regulations that provide you protection while you're doing certain activities. So if you need to be off work for those 2 weeks, you can't be fired for it. So a lot of people do it just for the extra cash, right? They pay pretty good. Just for, like you say, just for to do 2 days out of the week on the weekend, you can make some pretty good money just doing that as well.
Yeah, I think they say you get paid
like 4 days for
2 days.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Now, why Demaric mentioned, I know for people in the Air National Guard, why you have to do those 2 weekends out a month and those 2 weeks a year, that kind of like, if you don't do that, that doesn't kind of like what they would call give you like a good year. So you have to do so many hours in a year for that year to count towards your retirement.
Right. And if you 1 day short, they do not count the entire year.
Count. Yeah.
The entire year don't count.
So it's best to be over than to be short.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's always opportunities to do over for the most part.
And the reason why I asked that question, or went back to that question, because I think when we hear military and say I'm going in active, like I think a lot of us automatically think that I'm going to get sent though.
So like somebody said in the comment, right? I don't know who this is because I can't really see the name.
Monique. I think Monique has had the most as a late.
So when she said reservists deploy more so than active, she ain't lying. She ain't lying. So the way it was made, the reservists are supposed to stay at home and take up the spaces of active duty, but that's not how it really works. We deploy more so than active. They stay home.
I want to give a shout out to Monique real quick too. She because I asked her, I said, what she does or what she has done. She did 8 years as a supply specialist, transitioned to a logistics warrant officer, and retired with 23 and a half years in. So salute to you, Monique, for your services that you have done. So we appreciate you.
Congratulations.
We want to make sure we give her that shout out.
And in the Army.
Yeah, and in the Army. That's right. And Army.
So Timo, back to what you were saying, shout out Monique. But when you were saying that people think of active duty is we running around, sir, yes, sir. First of all, don't do sir sandwiches. That's dumb. But it's really not like that. It's really like regular civilian life. You go to your job, you come back home, and might have a little PT every now and then. It's nothing like we're all super uptight and you got to be a certain way while you're on the base. It's
regular people, man.
Yeah, it's regular people that put on a uniform like you going to work.
They just don't choose what they put on every day when they wake up, man. They just you automatically know what you're gonna wear every day.
I love that. I ain't gonna lie to you. I love that.
I bet you do, because when we go out of town, your drawers and a t-shirt and toothbrush, that's gonna pack up. You know, I gotta put clothes on. Damn, where we going? I was gonna say, man, like to your point, Nico, like outside of y'all three, man, everybody that I have, or most people I've known and hung out with in the military, man, they fun people. So, you know, I wanted to kind of kill that stigma too as well. Like people have like a certain perception of how y'all are. Like you just operate like you're the old movie back in the day, who was kid Universal Soldier. Like you just operate like robots all the time and everything.
Nah, cool. You might need a liver after you hang out with one of them.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Definitely agree.
Now there are a lot of stress that, you know, don't get me wrong. I know somebody was mentioning about how they feel when their loved one goes on deployment. Now that's one thing that, you know, to consider. I would say to consider as well. If you're not a selfish person, right, you may want to consider the stress that that deploying a lot or being gone a lot may have on your family, your significant other, because those opportunities are there. Like, man, when I talk about the amount of people, because I also did I have about 6, while I was in the Air National Guard, I have about 6 years of active duty time as well. So I have seen, man, large turnover in marriages, man, just from people being deployed, a lot of infidelity just from their significant others not being there. And man, there's just something that I think people should also consider. If not just about that, just think about, if you plan on having like a long-term relationship, the strain and effect that may have on that particular relationship at that point in time in your life. You know what I mean? So
I think the average military
strong love will survive,
like
though.
2 years.
Yeah.
So
Not granted, I've also seen where people got married and they got married for the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the dorm sweethearts are the ones that I don't want them to leave me, so I'm gonna try to go to their base with them. Like,
yeah. So it's a lot of stuff that go on out there.
so
Deployments, just deployments could be a part of it. So don't let that deter you, but just keep that in mind, that if you join in the military, there's a possibility that you will be deployed. You know what I mean? I don't like to kind of like sugarcoat it. I always try to keep it real, people. Which is also why I'll tell you, like the Merrick said, pick the job you want, not the job they want you to be in. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Do your research before you pick that job. Is this something that I could potentially do when I get out the military? Right. So am I using the military to gain a skill that I can turn around and flip on the outside and make more money there than I am originally making here? So you can take it, flip that thing like people do as a trade, man, and turn around and make more money outside of the military than you making while you in. So there are definitely opportunities there. Just know
that's what I
what you
want to
plan
get
on
into,
doing.
Murray. We talked a lot about deployments, but it was so many benefits that we haven't talked about as far as like schooling and how to actually get in school. Like, most people think that if you go to the military, you're gonna avoid college by going to the military.
You're not.
You're gonna learn. Like, for the first maybe year and a half, you're gonna be in some type of training.
Yeah.
And then as you continue to make rank, there's more training.
You can learn a lot of stuff you don't want to know. You can learn a lot of Air Force history. You know what I mean? So you're going to be like, man, what good is Air Force history? But you're going to know what you're getting yourself into. You know what I mean? You're going to know about the people that came before you. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of stuff you're going to learn, which I get it, because that makes you take pride in what you're doing and what they're working towards.
Yeah.
But education don't stop. Like, you graduate high school and say, well, I'm finna join the military. That doesn't stop your education.
It ain't stopping nothing.
No.
It ain't stopping nothing.
Now unless you want to go.
When you leave the school that they send you to, now you got to come back to your regular base and you got to do those books. You got to do the books. So now you got these books that you got to study and test on to learn your job. And then you got somebody, over the shoulder training that somebody's going to walk you through.
I've seen people get put out just because they weren't progressing.
Right. I've definitely seen that. I've actually wrote some paperwork for people, and it led to them getting out because they couldn't actually do the job.
Now, and we're probably just speaking just from like an Air Force perspective. I know. So there are opportunities if you want to be what we would call like a foot soldier or a grunt, right? So if you want to go in the Marines and you want to train to do combat, so yeah, you probably won't wake up every day and pick up a book. You may wake up every day and pick up a knife or a bat or something. But what kind of life is that for you when they don't need you anymore? You know what I mean? Let's be real. If they ever decide that, hey, your time is up, you broke your arm or you broke your leg and we can't use you anymore. So what does that look like once they're done with you? So, as we always say, man, use it as a two-sided coin. Don't just give and don't get anything. Now, if that's the path that you choose that you want to have, I mean, it's your life, man. Do what you feel like you want to do with it. But if you want to be beneficial and give something and get something in return, see how it's going to benefit you on the other side as well. I know it's
use your take advantage of TA, or Use your GI Bill, any
TA.
tuition assistance.
Tuition assistance.
I'm just saying, y'all shoot a lot of acronyms. They were like, they got TA. I think that tuition is that what they talk about? So another good point I think Monique brought in, man, was she said one thing that's high in the military is mental health instability. Most military members suppress their issues and turn to alcohol. The culture of the military doesn't make it comfortable to seek help. So she just want to put that out there. So
They do not. So that's regardless of what job you have, what you want to do. Right. They do not fare well. They this country speak highly on their military, but when it comes to mental health, I think they can do a way better job at taking care. They trying to. I see some changes they're trying to make, but it's still,
man. I came back off my first deployment, man. I was still having issues, and first thing he told me, man, don't go down there. You're gonna end up getting yourself kicked out of the military.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's that bad. I would tell you.
Yeah. I had a coworker, man, where he went on 2 deployments, and each deployment he came back from, man, he was the first one, his girlfriend cheated on him. The second one, somebody in his family died, and both times he came back in a depression state. They put him on medication for a certain time. He got off the medication, and the military looked at him and said, well, that seems like a cycle that you keep going through, so we're kicking you out. So, yeah, they don't play when it comes to mental health.
Yeah,
but also looking at what happened at Fort Hood, them 2 shootings that they had, I could see why.
That was interesting. I see 2 other comments, and then we're gonna go and try to wrap this thing up. I think Joy mentioned on the fact that when Demary got deployed, it truthfully helped them out because she missed him like crazy and appreciated the things that I guess he brought to the table at the house a little bit more when he was away versus with him being at home. So make sure you give her a hug after the show is over. Joy, if you want to come in and give him a hug during the show, that's fine. If you're there, we'll keep on going. But go ahead, Nico.
I think we should run a part 2 because it was like so much information.
It is. I don't feel like we touched on everything that we probably really wanted to tonight, man. So I think that may be something that we probably need to do for real. Joy, no hug. Okay, we'll move on.
Let's go with a straight QA from our audience to see what information they would like from us, because it's a lot of things that we talked about deployment a lot because
that's the bulk.
That's the top of everybody's list. People are scared to go, but even with deployments, you're on a cycle that you're not going to just be going all the time.
So let me ask y'all this, because I see Devin's question asked about the benefits of ROTC. Do we want to hold that and let that be a talking point for next time, or you want to go and address it now?
You can address that one.
I say go ahead and address it now. So
roll with it. So what are the benefits of him taking ROTC in college rather than enlisting? All
right. So for one, so if you go to ROTC for one, they're going to pay for your college. So I talked to someone and they said that ROTC recruiter, and they said they will pay for your freshman year, right, up front. But if you don't decide to stick with them, then you got to pay that money back. So, but you let's say you go with them, they do it their freshman year, they pay for it. You do it your sophomore year, they pay it back. So, but that's a payback. They'll pay it back. But once you hit your junior year, everything from your junior year, if you're in ROTC forward, they pay for automatic. It's automatic. But you got to meet the requirements of being an ROTC. So they make you take actual classes outside of your normal class schedule. So you have to take Air Force history, Army history. You have to actually learn about the military. Not only that, they do a lot of team organizational things. They may get up. I've seen them get up at 5 a.m. and be outside running or doing team building skills at 5 a.m. So you got to be able to handle that. And a lot of people can't handle it. But if you can, they pay for your tuition up front. You won't owe anything for school. And then once you graduate, you're guaranteed a job and you're guaranteed a position as an officer. And I think, if you want to go in, the officer is the best route to go to me because they are treated the best. I don't care what branch you in. They always treated best in their than the enlisted. They take care of each other better than the enlisted. You actually get to make decisions, and people follow your decisions just because of your rank. Like it's overall the best route to go.
Yeah.
And you don't need. So if you go in enlisted and then you try to cross over officers, now you need to meet other qualifications and get people to. That's not true. Okay. Tell me what part is not true. Please correct me. But you actually threw me out.
Yeah, I was say what part is not true? Because from my understanding, for the most part, that's true. So you do have for college ROTC, you do have additional classes that you have to meet just for our ROTC, the ROTC aspect of it, as well as obtain your regular degree as well. Are you talking about for the treatment part? Talking about they're not treated better than enlisted. Well, they're afforded different opportunities and different benefits. Man, they have their own club that you're not even allowed to go into.
Right.
So it's segregated as well, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. So speaking to that too, so you want to say that's not true. So I went to a war game. Actually, we were participating in a war game that was hosted by all military branches. And again, I'm an aircraft technician, so we're not really a part of the war games. All we do is fix the aircraft, send it off. They go pick up Army people and come back. So while the Army is getting picked up, dropped off, playing their war games, I'm going to the chow hall, I'm going to the BX, I'm doing whatever, right? In comes this officer with 2 soldiers, right? Remind you, they've been in the field for 2 weeks. She come in shopping in the BX. And then she comes to me and like, hey, why aren't you participating in the game? Da, 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 da. So I look at her, I'm in the Air Force, she in the Army. I look at her like, well, why aren't you participating? I said, you got on a helmet, you got on this, you got on that. I said, your soldiers are in the field playing games, and you in here shopping. And I walked away from her. So how is it that her people, and she looked at me, she's like, oh, we're not playing games. My men and women are out there dying. I said, again, and you in here shopping. So how is it that she could be in an area like that doing whatever she want to do, and you want to say your men and women are out here dying? We're playing war games, but they are dying, and you in here shopping and buying snacks and goodies and stuff. You know why? Because she's afforded a different opportunity than everybody else.
Right.
She can step away from that game, in which a lot of people couldn't. They was in the field eating MREs and whatever else they can get their hands on, but they couldn't go shopping and buy snacks and candy and juices and drinks and all that. They couldn't do that.
Yeah.
So yes, they are treated better. They are
another thing, Demeric, that you can look at is you can look at their housing on Air Force Base. Look at enlisted housing versus officer housing. Totally big difference in living quarters when it comes to enlisted versus officers. And I just leave it right there. When you talk about like quality of life in living situations, just look at that in general, and you could tell.
Even them going if they deploy.
Oh yeah,
we sleep 2 to a room.
They sleep. They got AC.
Right, they got AC. They got everything. We don't get all that.
Yeah.
So those are some things, man, that I think, like we said. I had about 3 questions when you mentioned that came to my head. Barney, when you talked about the living. Comparing one to the next, and what you just mentioned too, that scenario that you just gave to Demeric, because I think that's a lot of stuff, man, that I think that's good quality information that a lot of our people need to know and understand. And I think at the end of the day, it's just so much about the military that we just need to debunk when it comes to our people, and really getting them to understand all of the benefits that are out there when it does come to the military. And again, we want everybody to understand it's not all peaches and cream. Everything that you're going to go into outside of the military, whether you want to go in, be a hooper, you want to be a drug dealer, you want to be a chef, or anything there's going to be risk that comes along with it. There's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days. So It's not like it's going to be one that outweigh more than the other. But with us, I think tonight what we wanted to do was to try to get most of our people to understand more so the good that comes with the military and not necessarily the bad.
Everybody see the bad, but there are so many more benefits, you know, if you do what you need to do.
Right.
And if you guys have questions like before the next show, I'm pretty sure if you put it on the page, it'll get answered. Like, we don't mind answering the questions if it's something that you could think of before we get to the next show.
Yeah.
We may even address it on the next show as well.
All right.
Just wanted to get that out there for y'all.
Maybe we can have Miss Johnson to.
Yeah, next show we're gonna have somebody from all branches of the military come on tell their story.
Monique, go on and tell us what you're good for it.
I don't know if we can. What you mean, different branches? You know somebody in the Marines?
I do. Well, prior Marines, but yeah, I know a couple people. They may not be the best people to have on because they not in no more. And they probably ain't a little wrapped too tight.
Yeah, the person I know that's in the Marines, I don't want them on here.
Well, probably everybody except somebody in the Marines.
Coast Guard. I don't know anybody in the Coast Guard.
I know one person in the Coast Guard.
There we have it. We'll see what we can do. We'll get the people what they want. If that's what they want to see, we'll go out and make it happen. But y'all let us know in the comments or on the page what y'all want to see.
Yep.
We'll make it happen. Y'all want more information, we'll bring it to you.
Most definitely.
Right. Nico, you gonna close us out, man?
All right, so I got y'all a good quote today. I forgot my quote from last week, but this one it is if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So always try to have a positive outlook. It's pretty easy to be negative. And like being positive, having a positive outlook don't mean you just happy and sunshine all the time. It just means you try to find a different way. But yeah, just if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. That being said, I love you. Have a great day. On it with purpose. See y'all for episode 2. Peace and blessings.
Bars.